TV8, home of the Milan Cortina Olympics. Coverage begins February 6, 2026. KUAM TV8, home of Super Bowl 60, coming February 9th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. A special session to advance the Manila Hospital project comes just ahead of a full legislative agenda that includes bills on AI, healthcare funding, and enforcement powers for Guam EPA. More on this next.
And Simon Sanchez High School students now left heartbroken yet hopeful as they share what this setback means for a school community that's waited years to rebuild.
And budding student reporters at George Washington High School share what issues matter to them at their Mangilao campus after getting a lesson on journalism.
Hafa day and good evening. Welcome to KUM News Primetime. I'm Mutsuki Hirayama. Thanks for ending your day with us. Well, senators return for their November session this Wednesday with a full agenda, including veto overrides and bills that could shape Guam's environment, safety, and the direction of new technology. Now, lawmakers will open the floor with 5 vetoed bills seeking another chance at passage, among them Bill 28, aimed at strengthening Guam EPA's compliance and enforcement capacity, and Bill 59, requiring the business privilege tax to be itemized on customers' receipts. Also back up for consideration is a controversial Bill 7, which, if passed, would require the Chamorro Land Trust Commission to solicit competitive bids for mass grading and mineral extraction in a Mangilao lot, and a total of 20 bills are scheduled for debate as well. Among them is Bill 64, proposing the creation of a Guam Artificial Intelligence Regulatory Task Force to develop an AI framework for government and private sector use. Public safety measures are also up for consideration. Bill 157 would enhance penalties for third-degree sexual conduct against younger victims, while Bill 167 increases penalties for graffiti violations on public and private property. And healthcare is another major focus, with 2 separate bills appropriating additional funds to the Guam Memorial Hospital for critical supplies and materials. Senators will also vote on a resolution recognizing the global push for sustainable development and reaffirming Guam's role in advancing socioeconomic progress across the region. Now, session begins Wednesday, November 26 at 10 a.m. You can watch the full proceedings live on the legislature's broadcast and YouTube channels. Well, just 3 days after withdrawing her initial call to session, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero is renewing it, summoning senators back to the Guam Congress building to take up her Bill number 2, her revised legislation tied to the new medical campus in Mangilao. At stake is more than $104 million in federal American Rescue Plan funding that the governor says Guam must preserve and spend on time, or risk losing it entirely. Now, according to the administration, GPA and GWA are ready to move forward with major power, water, and wastewater upgrades on Lot 5280-3, the GURA-owned lot designated to support the medical campus. Now, these upgrades are expected to strengthen utility service not only for the hospital, but also for the surrounding villages of Mangilao, Marigata, Chalampago, and Zotnya. But Leon Guerrero says the projects have stalled as Attorney General Doug Moylan refuses to conduct the required legal review of the procurement contracts, this according to her administration, leaving the agencies unable to proceed. And last week, she withdrew her initial call to session after a Superior Court ruling struck down Guerrero's attempt to condemn separate private properties. Upon reviewing the decision with GURA, GPA, and GWA, her office maintains it does not affect the lot or the infrastructure work tied to the new medical campus. Now, to remove any lingering uncertainty, her bill now explicitly identifies the correct lot and separates it from the land involved in the court ruling. The governor warns, however, that continued delay increases construction costs and heightens the risk of forfeiting federal dollars already allocated to Guam.
This is about protecting Guam's future, strengthening our healthcare system, and ensuring we don't lose once in a generation federal investment.
Now, senators are scheduled to convene tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the 5th special session of the 38th Guam legislature. In other news, Simon Sanchez High School Sharks near and far are reeling with disappointment after today's long-awaited groundbreaking ceremony was put on hold. The delay follows a procurement protest filed by one company, raising questions about the timeliness and completeness of the procurement record, though the Department of Public Works says it maintains full confidence in the documents it produced. The protest also triggering an automatic stay under Guam law. Destiny Cruz-Langes reports.
Today was supposed to mark a milestone for the Simon Sanchez High School community, the long-awaited groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of their new campus. Anticipation building among the Sharks as they prepared to finally see progress on what had been years in the making.
They're finally making a change. They're taking a step forward into rebuilding our school. And obviously, that's something that touched all of our hearts, all of the teachers, the staff, the students.
The excitement shared across generations, with many eager to witness the first visible sign of their school's future.
I was also really excited because I heard that one of my older teachers' buildings are the ones that are gonna get demolished. So I wanted to see that.
We were all just so excited to see that this Monday we would see the groundbreaking and our school be rebuilt soon.
But that excitement coming to an abrupt halt. A procurement protest filed by General Pacific Services triggering an automatic stay under Guam law, delaying progress on the new campus and postponing Monday's ceremony. And as the protest review process moves forward, students say the news has been difficult to process.
As soon as we saw that message, we were very heartbroken. We had people ready to show up at the groundbreaking on Monday. We had our La Voce ready to sing. We had our class counselors going to be there to support and just to see it.
It was years of alumni planning to attend. Performances were scheduled to show that our pride is still there. We were all so excited.
Still, student leaders remain hopeful that the issue will be resolved soon. And they're reminding their peers that despite the setback, the Shark community remains resilient.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend it, but it's nice knowing that some other students will be able to attend something that we've all been waiting for many years.
Just to make sure that, always fight to make sure that we're the school that's not only known as the one without a campus, but the one that always has the most pride to show up for what we stand for and just use our voices no matter what ends up.
Destiny Cruz-Langes, KUAM News.
Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
College is possible. Retirement is possible. Adventure is possible. And so is saving for it all with our Bank Ohana Savings Special. Earn an interest rate of 3.25% for the first 90 days when you deposit $25,000 from another bank into a Bank Ohana Bonus Rate Savings Plus account. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So make your savings goals possible.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Well, over at Matapang Beach this past weekend, several paddling crews zipped across Tumon Bay. The International Dragon Boat Festival brought together athletes from Guam, South Korea, Japan, and the Philippines. It was a celebration of nature, sport, culture, and good times out on the water, featuring lots of good island vibes from our teams, showing half-a-day hospitality to our visiting friends. In other news, students at George Washington High School got a special lesson today on journalism as KUAM visited the Mangilao campus for Career Day. Like our reporters here, these geckos had to pitch their own stories and think on their feet, all within a tight deadline to help bring you this next report. Budding student reporters take over primetime to share what issues matter to them at George Washington High School for Career Day. On Monday, KUAM had the opportunity to share what goes on behind the newsroom and in the field for every 2-minute news story. 90% of the work we do happens off camera. Then, these geckos were challenged to pitch their own story ideas on the spot, and boy, did they step up to the plate.
Half a day. I'm Felicity Sanchez reporting from Mangilao. Today we'll be finding out what's the extent of George Washington High School spirit. Let's check it out. Do you feel like there's more school spirit this year?
Yes. With this year, there's more of an event and more social media presence in the school year.
From school spirit to school sports, these students reported on the stories that matter to their gecko community, like the recent football game championship.
The week after the big win, did you feel a change in the school's atmosphere? Anything that really showed school spirit or encouraged more community growth?
Yes. I feel everybody was very hyped up, like especially after the game. You know, everyone was really like excited, and I feel like the boys are really proud of themselves, and most of everyone was proud of them too.
They even covered hard news like a recent waterline break caused by Cortec that impacted classes on Friday.
What are your personal thoughts, and what do you think we can do to resolve this problem?
Honestly, I think that it wasn't intentional, obviously, but it did cause like many problems.
And vandalism within school walls and its solutions.
I think we should look after our school since this is our school.
In your guys' opinion, what's a good consequences for these students when they caught in the act?
I think they should be the ones to clean up the school.
Others use their voices to give insight on what's trending in their hallways.
What's the Spirit Week theme? Today we're doing pumpkin spice and everything nice.
No matter the story, these students learn how to gather the news and to deliver it.
Reporting from George Washington High School.
I'm Cherish Lotus.
I'm Zoe Tachara.
I'm Logan Siniculas.
I'm Carlos Segundo, KUAM News.
Well, leading up to Thanksgiving, we are sharing with you some quick and delicious recipes to show off at your Thanksgiving luncheon or potluck. Get ready to anchor your Thanksgiving.
Get ready to cook, create, and celebrate with Anchor, making every Thanksgiving moment special.
Howdy guys, welcome back to another episode of Anchor Your Thanksgiving. I'm Kobe. I'm Vic. And today we're going to be making these cute little Rice Krispie turkeys. We're going to do everything in one pot, and it'll only take you 20 minutes.
Nice.
So, what we're going to start with first is butter, 4 tablespoons. So we're going to melt the butter so that it's no longer a block. Okay, once the butter's melted, we need to add 1 bag of marshmallows.
Now we're going to do 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract.
I think that's perfection. Next, the main star of our dish. I'm safe.
Sorry. Actually, Okay.
Figure it out. You know, actually, this is my first time making Rice Krispies.
Same.
But I think we're professionals already. Beautifully done, Victorious. All right, guys, now that we press it down, we're gonna go let this settle so it, combines evenly. And then we'll be right back to make our little turkeys. All right, guys, it's game time.
Oh, I'm excited.
So me and Vic are actually gonna do a little challenge with these Rice Krispies. We're gonna make little turkey versions of ourselves.
One down.
One more to go. Okay, now's the fun part. We're gonna decorate our own turkeys. We're gonna use the frosting as a little glue for our candies. Amazing. 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 Here's our turkey.
Oh.
I don't want to eat them. I feel bad. Okay, let's give it a try.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's pretty good.
Happy holidays.
Happy Thanksgiving. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of Anchor Your Thanksgiving. You can find the full recipe on KUAM.com, and be sure to stay tuned for more ways to anchor your Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
And when you're grabbing your ingredients, you can join the Anchor Staycation Holiday Giveaway from November 14th to January 18th. Purchasing any 2 Anchor products, milk, butter, or cream, will get you an entry form.
You could win a 2-night family staycation for 4 at Pacific Island Clubs Guam with water park passes, a dinner buffet for 2 at Casa Oceano at the Supaki Tower, or one of 3 $100 Kmart gift certificates. So stock up on Anchor and enter for your chance to win.
Get ready to cook, create, and celebrate with Anchor, making every Thanksgiving moment special.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a beautiful shot for you from Upper Tuma.
Calvo Select Care's comprehensive medical provider network offers our members choice and access to quality facilities locally in Asia, Hawaii, and the continental United States. We provide our members several wellness programs and healthy options to improve their overall health status. Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
Next to McDonald's offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, appliance hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! as he kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
This holiday season, the magic is near. In every aisle, it's crystal clear. From decor that dazzles, to toys that bring joy, to sweet little treats for each girl and boy. Lights that sparkle, gifts from the heart, it all comes together at Kmart.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, and the Guam Army National Guard. Live here, serve here. Okay, everybody, time for News Bites. I have some really cool island events to tell you about. What do we got first? Hey, GCC Holiday Bazaar, right? Can we please go back to calling them the tradesmen? Please, Santa, can you make that happen this year? Okay, well, we'll get to that in about a month, all right? As for right now, November 28th, we have the Holiday Bazaar over there at the Mangilao campus in the multipurpose auditorium. You can help, right? Vendor fees are going to help scholarships. These are teaching kids about trades, about the sciences, about being an effective member of our island's workforce. And hey, I am all about what GCC is doing. And the Holiday Bazaar is amazing, and they always put on a good show. Shout out to everybody at GCC. The Hope Camp is something that is going to teach you to be your very best if you are a male or female athlete and you are within the high school age range. Make sure to check it out because Coach John Diaz and Coach Chad Ike, actually it's more than that, right? Boys and girls 10 to 18, right? Coach John and Coach Chad are coming here and they are going to teach you how to be mentally strong, physically strong, and also be a good sportsman. That's the most important thing. And the Jingle Bell Run is coming up, everybody, so let's make sure to get these incredibly amazing shirts that are worth their weight in gold, right? Look at that on the lower left hand of your screen. That's incredible. And it's going to go to a very good cause because proceeds benefit our friends at Guam Cancer Care. It is on the 14th. It is a 5K and a 2K, and it is over at the Leo Palace. It is also awesome. And it is time for birthdays. Let's do that. All right, everybody, happy birthday on the 24th of November. Go out to Shell Madrigal, and your very loving niece says, I love you more than I love Spotify. Wow, that's high praise, and that's coming from our digital team member, and she says, I love you from your favorite niece, Pe. Marie has a birthday today, so our beautiful, selfless, and loving mama, happy birthday to you all the way from Japan. So we're sorry we aren't there to celebrate you, but we will make it up to you when we get home, and they say, we love you. Have a wonderful birthday, Marie. Barbara Blas, happy birthday to you, coming from your sister Patsy and the family in North Carolina. Hey, good holiday weather out there. Santa's gonna have a good time in North Carolina. Barbara, we wish you a happy birthday. And happy birthday to Ivan Blanco. Please enjoy your special day in all caps from all of your friends and family. And happy birthday to our own Clarissa Guerrero, who blows the candles out today, and we are all gonna party together, not just as a company, not just as co-workers, but as a family. And Riz, happy birthday to you. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
That's your Primetime Show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama. Good night.
Well, it's another month of a lot of issues for veterans you have to talk about. Oh, yes.
So much has happened. First, the last time we talked about the bill that was introduced and the hearing.
That's correct.
And then the week later, or maybe even a few days later, the OPA report was submitted. Mm-hmm. So that is OPA report 25-11. It doesn't exactly say what day in October. It just says October 2025.
I think it came out the day after the public hearing.
Right.
Yes.
It did. So some of the things that came out of it. I mean, there's a lot of issues that were mentioned in the report. The report is 44 pages long.
Yes.
It's 44? 60. I'm not sure how many pages are long. But I know there's a few attachments to it. But let me just touch on the big things. Okay. Insufficient staffing to process VA claims. Mm-hmm. It's insufficient staffing to maintain the Guam Veterans Registry. Insufficient staffing for cemetery operations, and inadequate office space, and deficiencies in data management and information security. And then other matters, which was during the course of their research on the audit, the bill was introduced to have the commission have the director be so currently the director is appointed by the governor, but there is law that says it should be a classified position. But the audit also says there should be some more study to find out what it is for the stakeholders. Mm-hmm. So those were the findings.
Not very many things there to do, is there?
It's a lot to do.
Well, and before we really just dive into this, let's just really say that, there are a lot of fine, good intentioned folks that are really trying to do the best that they can, right? And unfortunately, right, we're in a position that, when we look at these things need to get done, right? When we say they need to get done, right, we can't keep expecting that, our veterans are going to be asking for more, and we don't even have the foundation laid for this, right? And these issues are long-standing, which means this just didn't happen yesterday. This didn't happen last year or 5 years ago when we came on the scene with veterans. This has been going on for a long time, and unfortunately, those that are there kind of inherited the fact that, hey, you are the person at the moment sitting there as the director, and when all these arrows are getting shot at you, right, it's not you personally, right? But regardless, you're there for a reason, and if you sat there and you decided to take that position, right, you probably may want to look at the things that are in need of work. You probably need to maybe devise a plan, look for solutions and find out what the best solution might be. All along the way, it's important to communicate this. If you're doing these things or trying to do good things, and I'm sure he's doing a lot of great things, right? He's doing the best that he can. But if the best that you can is not getting us to where we're supposed to be, right, then he's going to need to ask for more reinforcements, right? And that should have been done since day one, right? And when I say day one, right, the good director has been there. This will be his second time down there, albeit different administrations, right? And yet still, right, that's the idea of what we need to talk about, right, is where do we go from here? Why these things are the way they are, right? So again, right, when we talk about these things, we're talking about them in a way, shape, fashion, form, so that what we're doing is bringing up the fact that a lot of things need to get done. Now, what I'd like to say too is that I know that when we had gotten together with like Eddie Regis and some of the other folks, right, we put together something to try to assist them We presented this to the governor and lieutenant governor. We presented it to the last legislature, and we've been asking, how can we help? What can we do as a nonprofit to get out there and help? And if the folks that are out there are asking to provide you some help and assistance, and we're really ignoring, and maybe not ignoring, maybe there's rules and guidelines that he probably needs to express to the people that are offering him help. And maybe the folks that he's currently got that he's allowed to help him, right? Maybe this is a good time for us to measure them and say, hey, the folks that you're providing you guidance or help are probably, in need of more help, right? So, you can ask somebody for help, but what if the things that they're doing is not adequate, right? Then we need more help. So that's something that maybe we got to consider as well.
Parents, do you know the power of talking, reading, playing, and singing to your baby? These actions help your baby build their language and literacy. Talk and sing to your baby about things around you. Call 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. excluding holidays for more tips and resources to help your child succeed.
What's coming up this week? Is it this week or next week? The hearing.
Oh yeah, so that's the oversight hearing is what they call it, right?
Oversight hearing that Senator Sabrina Salas-Mantanani is going to have because of the OP report.
Yes, and so, gosh, I really want to just control myself and not, just go at it, right? And we can't, right? Because we all have to work together. And that's easier said than it is done. And there's a lot of folks out there that will say anything about trying to work together, but saying something and doing something are two totally different things. So when we say we want to help, right, we've submitted paperwork. We've actually gone there. We've spoken to the director. We've spoken to the governor. We've spoken to people in the legislature. So if you're asking, well, have you gone there to do something? Yes, we have. Have you submitted paperwork? Yes, we have. So in that regard, that's something that we've done. Now, I think a little bit about some history, right? The last committee chair, and I just spoke to him last week, latter part of last week, Senator Dwayne St-Nicholas, right? So I was telling him, I said, hey, I hope you don't mind if I continue to tell people that when you were the committee chair, when you were in the legislature, that you opened up your office for us. He goes, oh no, that's fine. That's what I'm there for. And the reason that's very important is because at the time when he did that, right, contrary to what some people are saying in the legislature when they go out and say, hey, the commission has been running for a long time, that actually is not true. The commission has not been running properly. When we went to the good senator's office, we went there and we kind of got together this task force, the Guam Veterans Task Force. We got together because the talk about not being able to have a commission meeting was something that was important. Regardless of whether we felt there was no teeth, right? We needed to keep that running as well as provide for how do we get them to run. We even offered, let us pay for the ad. So, when people start talking about, hey, we had to, we've been running the commission, no, it has not. Stop telling the people, things that are not true. there was a time when the commission was not running, and they were not running because they couldn't put an ad together. We went and started talking about, let's find a way to get this ads going. And by putting those ads together, they were finding out how to get those ads on the paper. We found out that we couldn't do it. But a lot of misinformation still going around. So when they talk about, is somebody doing something? We are. The Guam Veterans Task Force got together to put the commission where it's at today. And I want to also say, Tom Atta was a big help in this, to include the rest of the folks that are in there. There are fine folks that are on this island that are contributing behind the scenes. All the while, some folks are out there touting their being the ones that are putting these things together, and that's not necessarily true. We have folks to the tune of General Benny Polino that has been on that task force. Tom Atta, Eddie Regis, Bob Kelly, Rob Jackson, Charlie Hermosa, a bunch of veterans. And they're coming together because they feel that, hey, there's a need for us to do this. And Johnny Atula, I have to say his name because if I don't, he's going to be upset. So Uncle Johnny was also there. And I don't know if there's something you wanted to add to that before we keep going, because I'll keep going on this, and so maybe I will since you're going to allow me to go. So that all leads up to where we're at today. We've been constantly looking at the issues that needed to be taken care of, supporting the commission. Now, why that's important is Tom Atta, when he met with us, we talked about the commission not having teeth. What that meant was the law did not allow for the commission to tell the director what the organizations want the director to do. So we got together, and Tom Atta, who's very knowledgeable about this, started putting these things together, amendments to change the things that are in the existing bill. And this was done during Dwayne St. Nicholas's time. When we left there, we already had that groundwork, framework put together. What should we change? What are things that, could be adjusted to meet the current times? So that work was already done. It was already done. So when we first had the good Senator Salas Mantanani come to the task force meeting, I was sitting there when we tried to advise her that, hey, there's, amendments that probably are put together. And this is something that, based on experience, the good Senator, Tom Atta, said, we have to piecemeal this. The way the system works at the legislature is you cannot just send them everything, because it's almost like a shock when you send them, hey, you need to do all these things. What about this and that and this and the other? How do we get all these things lined up? How do we get this through, right? And if you're sending them something very comprehensive, it's going to be difficult for them to really arrive at, hey, how do we get this done? It's almost like it's information overload and the system can't handle it. So that was kind of the advice that he gave at the time. And I know the senator came out with something really comprehensive herself, right? And we tried to push that out. So all of these, the folks in the commission and the folks that were put there are trying to say, oh, we don't like this, we like this. And all of a sudden they said, well, we're going to create a working group. Problem with that working group is, how do you get a working group together in a commission, in a public meeting, without putting that on the agenda, without talking about, hey, we need a working group to take care of these things?
Oh, they don't care about the agenda. They'll just talk about what they want. But then when someone else wants to say something, they give them 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, and to your point, right, there's the list of organizations that are on the upcoming event, right? And there's quite a few organizations that are on there. And what's interesting is, this is not to say that these organizations are not good organizations, right? But they're placed on a listing, on a government listing for a government event. And some of these organizations are not in operation anymore.
Not according to the rev and tax listing of nonprofit organizations that are active, right?
Which is quite interesting, because how do we arrive at a list and say, hey, here's a list of organizations? There's an organization on there called HMI they're on that organization. Why are they on that listing? Are they truly an organization? Because if they are, they're not on the commission. And
well, they don't want us to join the commission. They're scared of what we are and what we do. So.
Well, I'm not sure that that's necessarily where we want this conversation to go.
Why not?
However, what we want to talk about are all the little things that are adding up to where we need to be with what we're doing. And this is where coming together is very important. And we need a special person to do this. I'm not saying that, the folks that are there are or aren't the right people to be there. But if you start looking at, not so much what people are saying, but what they're doing, then you're going to really take a look at, are these people truly bringing our veterans and our veterans organizations together? And if the answer is no, then maybe we need to work on that. How do we get somebody there that's able to bring everyone together? And I'm sorry, you can't pick and choose, right? You don't get to do that when you're sitting here saying, hey, all of our organizations and all of our veterans need help. If you look at the report, that report tells us we got nowhere else to go but up. So we got so many issues and challenges through the OPA report. What is it that we really need to do with that?
Make change.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Tender love and care.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah. We just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic. You're welcome.
And when you talk about that, right, so let's take a look at what you just said, make some changes, right? Yep. How and to who, and do we need to change people out, or, what is it that we need to do?
I think so.
Now there's laws, right? There's laws that talk about if you're sitting in a position, you're holding this position, right? If you're not doing your job, there could be sanctions for you if you don't do that job.
Resign.
Some folks, when they feel that they're doing the best that they can, feel that meets the threshold. Now, the people that will determine whether you meet the threshold or not are potentially going to be your veterans.
They're not doing a good job, and one veteran not assisted is one too many. Because their job is very important. They're changing lives. They're supposed to know their job. They're not supposed to send a veteran away when the veteran asks for help. They're also supposed to know the law and keep up with the law in 2025, and they are not.
And then recently, just at the very last commission meeting, there was mention of the VFW having 2 VSOs. That information is old. There are no VSOs at the VFW. And more importantly, right, what is the VFW saying about that? Right? It's because if you are a VSO, right, your job is to be informing all the veterans of all the issues and policies and procedures and things that are going on. If you want to be a VSO, you have to know what you're doing. You have to keep up. You have to be down there finding out what the veterans want and need. You cannot be just, oh, well, you pick somebody and you pick some. No, these folks need to know what they're doing. If you have not looked at the way claims are done, if you have never filed your claim, if you've never seen the process or taken the time to follow a veteran through their process, we got issues with how you are truly going to say you're a VSO when they report who they're helping. I know that on the commission meeting, they said, we want these VSOs to help our people, right? Our veterans on the island. I know that the VFW VSOs are helping people outside of Guam. And they are counting that they are helping these people in the Guam meeting. Now, again, this is not a problem when it comes to saying, hey, are you doing VSO work? But the challenge comes when you're a VSO and you're here on Guam and you need help. The OPA report tells you veterans here need help. Why is it that it's so important for you to go outside of Guam to help people? Because it's your region? Because they require help? Well, what about the people here? They require help. So there's issues about how these things work that, maybe we need to try to learn a little bit more, right? Try to find out more about what these things are really talking about. So anyway.
Can we move to the registry? So insufficient staffing to process VA claims, that's important. Yeah. Because, of course, we don't know the true number of how many veterans we have here. But processing a veteran claim, that's a lot more than, I can only see 2 veterans once a day, and then the appointments are months out. Because when a veteran files their claim, they get letters that say you have 2 weeks to respond, you have 7 days to respond, you have 30 days to respond. And that's important, especially if maybe a veteran might miss their exam. When they miss their exam, they don't know what to do or where to go, especially those that are not informed of the process. So that's insufficient staffing. I'm not sure how many VSOs are down there now. I think only 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 down there. I'm not sure.
Well, but they didn't bring that up at the commission meeting either.
No, because they only want to talk about what they're going to do in 2026, not what they're going to do now.
Well, and again, right, that's why that information is important. If you are part of the commission, your job is to get the information together and disseminate it. If you don't want to disseminate the information, send it to the director and tell him to disseminate it. But in both of these areas, we have a difficult time accessing information. Information doesn't flow downward. Information staying up here in a place where the people that are up here are sharing that with themselves, and
that's good enough for them
in their mind's eye.
Yeah, that's what they think. It's good enough. So insufficient staffing to maintain the Guam Veterans Registry. So this OPA report was from 2018 to 2025. So from 28, so their registry went from 2017 to today. They've only registered 2,197 veterans.
And so let's talk about the registry a little bit. So in the existing law, the Speaker of the legislature, last legislature, it was Therese Terlahi. This current legislature, it's Frank Bloss Jr. So when we talk about that, there should be reports going to them. Now, I would ask that the speaker tell us if that report has been submitted. And if it has not, it would be a good idea for him to just mention that. Hey, I did not get a report. You see what I mean? We're good at telling people your job is to do this, you got to do that. But then when the follow-up of, hey, where's this report? And that's a very crucial report, and it's important because that report tells us the number of veterans here that need services, that are required to get services, and potentially what kind of services we're going to be receiving from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So that number is important. On top of that, through the task force and HMI, we got the governor to proclaim this year as Year of the Veteran Count and Veteran Registry. And that's in line with something that needs to be going on. This is an easy way for the commission to jump on board and get a count from all these people. You don't need somebody to come on air and tell you, hey, go do this, right? You should already know that you should be doing this. The last time they testified at the legislature, right? That was right before this OPA report came out. I'm interested to learn that when those commission members went down there talking about the bill and how they supported the bill, I want to know what type of research they were doing, because they were doing this research as a working group through a government entity, right? And when they did that working group, why weren't they able to get things out of the OPA report? How do you go down in front of the legislature supporting something when you don't even have background? You don't even know what's going on. You didn't even go check the OPA report. I want to know who they interviewed as veterans. I've not seen a report. They've not done a survey of the veterans on the ground to find out what these veterans want.
Which goes back to them sharing information with themselves is good enough. It's not, because you're not asking veterans, what do you need, what do you want, what's going on with your health care, with your benefits, and that's important, because how are you going to make change when you don't even know?
And to add to that, right, so I don't think we're going to get all of this out in one sitting. And for the last 2-3 airings on the podcast and on the radio show, we've been trying to really get this all out, and I don't think we're going to be hitting that all in one sitting. Now, talking about the OPA report, talking about the bills that need to get passed and things that need to happen, right? There's room for all kinds of work to get done. So that's something that we maybe need to start paying attention to and really getting out there and doing some work, right? And however that might be, we do it like we do it here on our island, right? We what we do is we go to, for example, in the village, if somebody's having a party, even more than that, right? During my time when they're having a party, we all get together as teenagers and we say, hey, let's go see who's having a party, and we go help. We might not be invited to the party. After we help, they call us to the party, right? Now, in the old days, when somebody was building a home, the village would get together and go participate in helping them to build their home. So I think that's probably something that we need to start working on again, right? Is, really coming together and really get boots on the ground. Stop sitting on a chair trying to tell people, hey, this is what to do. Get down on the ground, meet the veterans, talk to them. You'd be surprised at what they're going to tell you. And the things that we're doing, right? Like, I think we have an event coming up that you want to talk about.
Right. So the nonprofit organization which we're a part of, HMI, Ihanana Imagahit Zani Anina, this weekend we're having our 4th annual 5K.
Yes.
And so this thing is heavy. I don't know if I can carry this. I'm just going to push it over. This is the Perpetual Cup. So this is for all the military branches, Guard and Reserve, to compete for.
Yes.
And this is, so the ones that hold it today is the 1st Battalion, 294th Infantry Regiment, Guam Army National Guard.
Chamorro.
Chamorro?
Yes.
So they got this. They won it last year. So I said, hey, are you guys going to defend it? He goes, yeah. So when I asked to get this, to take it around, he goes, you can borrow it. So they've already registered their team. So
yes.
So Guard, Reserve, Army, Air, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and then the Marine Corps come out and compete for this.
They're not going to. They can't.
They will.
No, they won't. They can't be. They can't be the Army Guard. These folks that are what organizations are you saying? Air Guard? Who else? Coast Guard? Are those real branches? Because if they are, we should see them at this 5K. And by the time this airs, we would have already had the winner of this. But we won't get to announce it until the next podcast.
And this is EFIT wood. This thing is so heavy.
So it shows that you have to be strong to win, right?
Yes. And this is on the back we have the
Code of Conduct for the United States Armed Forces. Right. Wait a minute. So that's for the United States Armed Forces. Does that include Navy, Army,
Yep.
Air Force.
Here's all of the services
Coast
on the
Guard.
bottom here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Space Force. Nick Gordon. I think you're the only guy there.
I
You
know
need to.
Nick come and run it, but then he has to have a team.
Hey, you better activate some Space Force guys to come in for you.
Yeah, this is nice.
Or at least he needs to show up, right? And defend.
So this is November 9th, Chamorro Village. So this is going to be evening, run, walk, 5K, 2K.
Yes.
And then on November 15 is our third annual Veterans Gala, and that will be at Dusit, Dusit Tani. So if there's any businesses out there that employ veterans, consider purchasing a table for your veteran. Honor your veteran. We invited an organization and they said, "Oh, we're already attending another event." I said, "This isn't for you. This is for your veterans. So purchase it for your veterans."
Yes, and again, right, you still have time by the time you hear this to purchase that table. We hope there'll still be tables, and if not, right, we'll do our best to try to get you in there. There'll be ways to do it, but yes, for the gala, right, you talk a lot about, thank you for your service, and you need to find a way to really make that tangible and mean something, right? Buy a table, If you are a public servant or somebody aspiring to office out there, right? If you got veterans in your organization, bring them out there. If you are a mayor, get a table for your veterans, Find a way to get them out there. You can't make everybody a veteran of the year. You can only pick one. But if you buy a table, you can get 10 of them on the table. Maybe all the ones that were nominated, you put them on the table and they'll be at the gala and at least they'll feel appreciated, right? And, we need to really start paying attention to this need for us to, lift up our veterans and really do something, right? License plates are fine and great, but I think we need to really work on a few more things, right? And we got to improve that bill. You got to show up. You got to really be out there to make these things important for our veterans. And you veterans, you got to get out there too and support. So, come out and do your thing, and then we'll all get together and have a good time. So,
right. We hope to see you all soon.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Until next time.
We'll see you again at our next podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.